Definitely hapo tu ninasikia fiti. It is on Thursday. Throwing it back to Nyashiski, the God himself. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, as I promised you, my guest of the night, none other than Angeline, is in the house and tells me, Uncle, tuchape kitu. How are you doing, Angelina, mama? Karibu niseme Suzana mama, lakini wewe sio Suzana. Wewe ni Angeline. Mambo vipi, Angeline? Great to have you here. Welcome to Court FM. Kuna mtu hapa ananiambia aski jina yako, mbona una nod? Kwani haunisikii? You're not getting me, like this thing is not vibing. This is the point at which you piga makofi tafadhali. Ninakusikia vizuri tena sana. You are loud and clear, and definitely we are ready to have this talk. Now, Angeline, I would love for you to take this opportunity to introduce yourself to our listeners and everyone that is watching us live on all our platforms. And of course, pia kuna watu wanatusikiza huko ndani ya TikTok. Go ahead, Angeline. Family and friends. I hope I'm your friend because I'm just about to become a friend to an author. Na mimi mtu asingilie maisha yetu tafadhali. All right? For all of you who are listening, na mko na roho mbaya, don't worry. Your time will come and we will also become your friends. But for tonight, my only friend is Angeline. And Angeline, as she correctly put it, she's an author and she loves things about magic. But Angeline, you and Aqua Life, are you an aqua woman? Are you an aqua lover? Oh, okay, okay. So swimming lessons, we shouldn't contact you for that. For more information, stay out of this. So, Angeline, before we came to this talk, I was just trying to listen to, you know, a couple of conversations that entail the issue of the blue economy. And we will get to your book. By the way, guys, she has a book. She's an author. Ninaongea na mtu ambaye ako published. Wewe kama publication yako ni The Day I Will Never Forget. We will not forget this one, all right? Uh, so today I'm gonna talk to an author, but also a scholar in her own right. Angeline, you told me that you love and you are actively involved in marine related conversations because we call them conversations here. What exactly did you pursue with your masters? And when it comes to blue economy in particular, where is your love and connection? Marie. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Mm. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that you are involving the community in everything you do because in fact as Court FM we love community stories. So I'm hoping at one point you'll give us that outstanding community story. And for me to be able to connect that, I want first of all to be able to establish with your whole research, you, by the way, I'm not getting you wrong. You did some research work, right? In marine stuff. Haya, kuna mtu huwa ananiambia mkoko umealika maua. In Swahili, what does that translate into in English? Mm. I, I almost thought you'll say the mangrove is airing flowers. Man, do they? Do the mangrove actually flower? Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know why I ask you this, Angeline? It's because there's a deeper sense of science and, of course, understanding of the relationship between the mangrove, our water catchment areas, among other stuff, and just the aquatic life. Maybe in just a short way, so that we get out of this mangrove story, how important is this plant or flower? Did I call it a plant? Is it a plant? Oh, okay. Nilikwambia mimi ni msomi. Leo guys, did you notice that? It's a plant. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. You know, I was waiting on that because I was just about to pounce on you. And this is a side note. Yesterday, there was this advocate who went for an interview at the JRC, Judicial Service Commission, JSC, Judiciary Service Commission. And they had to explain something to do with carbon credits market. Unajua alitutajia global warming. Kidogo kidogo. Alikuwa anafanya, you know, and then there is the, you know, when you can't explain but you are explaining. So I was waiting on you uniangushe na hiyo, but you got it. So now there is the aspect of the blue economy conversation that is happening across many countries, and Kenya has been on the lead for the same. Where are we as a country in that conversation, and how important, especially, are the blue economic zones in the country? Mm, mm, mhm, mm, mm, mhm, mm. Yeah, yeah. So without elaborating, because you know why I'm putting you in this corner, it's because this is something you dream and sleep and walk every single day. All right. Before I let you go on that, this conference that is happening on, what would you want to come out of it? And why I ask this, it's when we have conferences, symposium, whatever it is, experts like yourself will come, have a jamboree, discuss, and leave very beautiful documents. And then it becomes a political conversation on passing these policies and what have you. If you had a critical moment to reflect and even share your ideas, what would you want to be the main focal point in this conversation that is coming up? Implementation, yeah. Not much has it been done, and people are just transiting. And that takes me smoothly to the talk of the conversation, which is something to do with culture. And then, people realize, hey, by the way, we are cruising nicely. And if you're joining us and listening to this broadcast, I am speaking to Angeline Wanjala Nyambu. And she tells me, Uncle, my name and whatever people are calling me, they have nothing in relation. So probably she's here to tell us things that they can relate with your current situation or not. But Angeline is equally an author, and I want us to quickly look into her works in terms of the books she just published recently. And Angeline, thank you once again for joining us. And tumemalizana na sayansi. That was a tough class. I'm flying now with flying colors. So, Angeline, you have a book that you recently published. I do not want to speak on it because I haven't read it, but I promise once you give me an inaitwagaje ile yenye imekwa sahihi na mkono wako wa kulia, a signed copy. Yes. Are you kidding me? Chelewa chelewa kupata mwana si wake, lakini kawia fanya nini? Ufike. Na nimefika. Angeline, you have an amazing book that you recently published. And I want you to, without giving us all the intrigues around it, first of all, what is the title of your book and what inspired it? Yeah. 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 Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Watoto wa Likoni wapigiwe makofi. Aha. Uh-huh. That's why I was thinking. Anyway, you grew up in Likoni. Mm. Affordable. Oh, okay, okay. Yes, I was thinking, kwani nyinyi mlishapewa nyumba na? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the cost of living in terms of affording rent, it's quite friendly. It might not be really what I will say cheap for everyone, but it's friendly, average. So other than that, the rest is a bad story. But out of that area you come from, There's something you've been able to make for yourself. And that's why you go and do a memo on it on Dreams in Transit. Was it your first flight out of the country? Because sometimes the first flights are always interesting to tell about. Very memorable. Ulifika Belgium embassy saa ngapi? Ama ulienda TSL? Yeah. Lakini visa ulienda wapi? Because it's important for me. It's TSL. Ah, mtoto wa jozi, mtoto wa jozi. Watu wa TSL ni wajuzi. Sisi tulienda embassy. Kwanza unaambiwa fika saa ngapi? Saa 8. Ukichelewa saa 8 na dakika 5, appointment. What was yours? What was your story really? A girl from Likoni. I want to relabel this a girl from Likoni. Dreams in Transit. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm, 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 mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm. So you leave Likoni, you're on your first flight out of the country, out of Likoni. Ukasema, mwalimu wa math, hapa ni wapi? You land in Belgium. Did you arrive with Belgian Fritz or did you arrive with a biting cold? Mimi sitaki kusoma, niko shuleni sasa leo. Because that's why I'm not even deliberating your book. Mind you, I'm very specific why I'm asking these things. Wewe bwana pia umezoea tabia mbaya. Watu wa Mombasa, skiza, September is just after summer. All right? We are going into autumn. You cannot be talking about baridi. It's like anything between 12, 15 degrees. It's very warm. In fact, Pole. So you arrive and it's cold. Watu wa 32, 37. You are too delicate. So you arrive, and the first thing you have is the shock that comes with the very big difference of probably the not just the culture, but also the temperatures that you meet. And here you are to pursue a dream. Mbona you stayed in transit throughout? Because I don't just get it. Why were you still on transit na arrive? Uliendea tu masters huku kuja mzungu. Oh, si ati ni mbaya, nimeuliza tu because mimi nitoke Likoni. Wazungu tunaonaga tu pale Sandy Beach Hotel ya zile sands zingine. Alafu sasa hizi umeingia hub yenyewe. Na you opted to pursue your dreams. What was your driving force behind that? Mm-hmm. Mm, mm. You make it looks and sound simple because I've listened to a lot of individuals who get their scholarships, and then once they arrive, unlike you, they don't stay in transit. Au wanafika mali alikuwa wanaenda, ndio wamefika, alright? But then on the flip side, you opt to actually pursue what matters to you the most. I'm still here trying to understand. Anybody would have taken the opportunity to pursue other things. Why was it important for you? Because kwani wewe unataka kusaidia watu wote wa kuogelea Mombasa? Una kazi ya kufanya? Why was it important for you? What was your driving force? Hiyo ndio swali nitaka kuelewa. What did you want? Why? Mm-hmm. Wewe uniambie kitu yenye natafuta. Tukule leo, kuku wanakula mtama. Tunafanya matanga kesho, sasa haina shida. Leo ndo tunamaliza na unajua hizi wika kesho, manake tutakuwa tumemchinja, anaweza haribu biashara. But why I ask this, and I have a lot of respect for the work you've done actually, and I have a lot of respect for you to sit down and put it in writing. Take me through a chapter that simplifies everything in terms of your dreams in this country that is far away from home but closer to your dreams. Pick any from your book. Do you want to read us to just a line or two or a paragraph? I know you have a book. Kwanza utuonyeshe kitabu. Mm. Mm. Tuonyeshe your titles bwana. Kuna watu wajaona kitabu so that they don't buy the fake one. It's called Dreams in Transit. Mm-hmm. Tena mlienda kumanifest Berlin like lakini shida ya Waafrika huwa nini? Unaona wazungu hapana. And manifestation huku is either you have or you don't have. There's no manifesting. Ati what did you manifest that became unwelcome? Please tell me that story. Mm. 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 Ulijiona jogoo wa mjini utajua. Mm. Mm. Mhm. Yeah. So you slept in a train station in Berlin. Is it the same? Is it the same Berlin we are talking about? Ulilala upande gani wa Berlin? Hofbahn. Hofbahn. Bahnhof, Hofbahn. Eh, kwani hamkuwa mmeambiwa kuna kitu inaitwa it's all right. So who hated who after this trip? Did you get to bond? Did you get to bond? Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. So why you not just operating with students' pocket money? Because you know when you are a student, even a comfortable standing opportunity at a Bahnhof can be very comfortable. Shida ilikuwa ni pesa ama mlibook to student rooms na mkona ziko mbali? Mm. Yeah. Mm. 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 What did you learn from that experience? We nawe, we nawe bwana, kwani hukujua kuna Google Maps? Mm. 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 I hope you're lenient with us tonight because we are just about to make a mistake. All right? We are about to make a mistake. You have traveled around the world. I will just put it that way. And the most you get out of it is the satisfaction of heading home with a document that you call a certificate of excellence. You get back home, there's a lot of noise about jobless and joblessness. What was your story like? Ama wewe ama wewe ni uko kava uko serikali vile nakuona hivi. Mm. 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 Because of why? Mm. 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 Yep. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Didn't you show her there's nothing to give? Anyway, huh? Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So at what point do you decide that I want to share my story with every other person? Because again, I'm trying to interlink all these small pieces that end up becoming part and parcel of what I will call your testament of life and the things that they can give, irrespective of the tunaita this disparities that exist. Okay, first of all, at one point you tell us about where you come from, and then where you're going, and where you desire to be at. But then all these things shaken together, one will equate them to the value of the paper you come back with, which should be automated into a what? A job security. We have talked about the opportunities that exist. We've talked about people that are brilliant and not actually doing enough, but you still feel you have something to give to this community. When you look at yourself and again review your journey, do you feel there's something inside you that you need to share? Is it the knowledge? Is it the expertise? Is it just the stories? Mm, 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 mhm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, mm, yeah, mm, 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 yeah, 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 mm, eh. Sometimes anakufungia simu. Mm. Makosa si yako, nitakuambia nini naendelea. Ehe. Niko na maono. Mhm. Mm. Yeah. 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 Mm. Wow. You know, listening to you reminds me of the things that we call the promises of life, okay, and the abundance that comes with it. You are full of life, you are full of nice smile, you're full of good vibe and positivity. What can you do to change the current status quo when it comes to how we look at education and its impact to our society? And why I ask this, allow me to engage you a little bit further. We have often compared education equals to, quote unquote, capacity to earn a very fulfilling life through money. But here you are, you say you still have so much to give, irrespective of the space you find yourself in right now. And through it, you are impacting lives and telling stories in your book. You are also finding a reason to wake up to do something for your community. How do you equalize education and impact in our society? Mm, 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 yeah, mm, yeah, yeah, mm, mm, yeah, yeah, mm, 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 yeah, 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 mm, yeah, mm, mm, yeah. Thank you. I hear you. I hear you. And one other thing that I'm also picking from this whole conversation is looking at things from different point of views in terms of yes, you're pursuing your education, but you can also live life. And why for me it's important that anecdote, if I can call it as one, you you realize women have been given a specific mantra labeled by men of what should and what should not. As a woman, what impact do you believe you are causing with the work you're doing? Not just to yourself. Again, for us, community is important. To the community you come from. Na unatoka wapi by the way? Huko ni mahali mliishi. Haya basi, tutawekea wimbo yenyu baada hii. Continue. Mm, mm, yeah, mm, yeah, mm, 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 yeah, yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I want you to not just inspire ladies and young girls out there. I want you to speak to parents about giving their children a fair chance. What do you consider a fair chance in your view? Yeah, yeah. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah. You know, yeah, you talk about that, and it reminds me about an incident that I saw recently on the social media. I can't put a date to it, but just a group of young people somewhere in Italy who decided to, ruffle each other up, and one actually ended up dropping dead because he was stabbed to death. Just a stupid, supposed to be a game, and trying to showcase their bulliness. Yes, parents can do better. What do you think should be done even better when it comes to how we prepare the young people for the next employee, the next employer? Is there something that is not right somewhere? Because for me, mentorship is important, but do we have enough of that? Who is mentoring our children? Who is mentoring our young people? Mm, mm, mm-hmm, mm, mm, mm. But don't we think those are old fashioned? Because that's what Gen Z say. Mbona nikusalimie? Si uko vile uko. What will I change? Now, let's put it into a perspective. We meet, I ask you for something. Nipatie, let's say, uko na mkebe wa maji, nipatie maji. Naomba maji. All right? And then there's someone else who come and says, "Hi, Angeline, naomba unisaidie maji." Which one works for you and why? Mm. Sasa Angeline, nimeshinda kwa inbox yako nikikuhai hai. Mbona hujarespond? Na mimi nimekuwa nikisema hai. Tutaongeza haya haya. All right. Mhm. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Eh? Umesema sisi waandikazi wa kazi tunalemewa sana na, mabosses. You know my boss is listening. Mwambie ukweli yenye ungeniambia mimi nimwambie. Mm. 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 Mama yangu, mi nakwambia boss wangu leo atanifuta kazi hapa. By the way, boss, you see I showed up on time. The show was ready on time. And we are about to conclude this thing on time. But we cannot just finish this stuff. Boss, najua unasikia. Before Angeline atupatie usia wake. Angeline, I want you once again to flip through your write-up or your book for that matter. Let's respect it. Dreams in Transit. The author Angeline is here with us. I want you to go again, pick a line or paragraph that will inspire us. And especially if there's any that speaks to a young Angeline in that book. Do you have any? It could be any other young Angelines outside here. Msimwone hivi anafungua na she's very calm, by the way. As she does that, you're listening to Court of Fame, of course, on this Throwback Thursday, and my guest tonight is none other than Angeline Wanjala. Angeline is the author of the book Dreams in Transit, and there are a lot of things in between, but she's been able to tell us why she went to Berlin and decided paying a hotel close to the train station was too expensive, so she opted for a cheaper option. Walilala kwa train station kama wamesimama, but ili neno liendelee lazima lisimame, ama namna gani? All right, and I believe Angeline is ready for us so that she can tell us what in her book, what verse is she quoting? Angeline. Ni kubwa. 310. Imejaribu. Unajua hata max yangu ya KCPE haikufika huko. Haya basi, mimi nashukuru Mungu alitoa hiyo max. Hii kwa inanisumbua. Siku hizi wangekwetu wanasema excellent, beyond excellence. All right. Go ahead. Angeline, go ahead. Angeline, my dreams are valid. From today, anyone that is coming at me with bad negative energy, before Angeline akukemee, mimi tayari nakukemea ushindwe, by the way. So we need to come to a point that we realize that everybody can tell you why it will fail. But it's up to you to actually find out who is telling you why it will actually work. But don't you think people are just being careful so that you don't hurt eventually? Are they talking from their experiences? Do other people's experience actually do matter, Angeline? Mm. Mm. Mumemsikia? Mm. 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 Any wise words? No. Nimesikia kitu umesema. Any wise words that keeps you going? From whose fountain of knowledge do you tap from? There are people who will say, there's this verse in the Bible. There's my mother, there's my grandfather. What are these things that are cardinal for you as Angeline? Mm-hmm. Now that it was true, I'm going to give you the last exam because I'm really on the clock. What have you learned today? Not just in this interview, through your day. Yeah. You forgot I told you you have a nice smile and you bring light. We pia na wewe pia. We Angeline, hata kama ilikuwa TBT sasa imeisha nguvu. Haya basi, ungependa kusalimia nani kwa redio ambaye anakusikiza? Mm, mm, yeah. Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And where can we get this book? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm a what? Is it? Is and Kindle? Oh, mwache hiyo mchezo. Ni how many euros? 16 what? Chukueni calculator, sema 16 times 1. Hapana, ongeza. I would like to order 2 books. One for me and one for the person I love and care about. How can I order? On Amazon, I don't want. I want hard copy, signed. So, so this is what we're gonna do. In my workplace, I have 4 important people that I really like because they contribute to the success of the likes of the Angelines in my life. All right. So one of them, I want you to write down the name so that you can sign them. All right. One of them is called Bonnie or Boniface. All right. I want a book for Boniface. I also want a book for one great listener that is always listening to my shows. Anaitwa Judy Maina. Mm. Then I have another one. Her name is Stella. Mm. Anasema anaitwa Stella, apendi majina mrefu. Alright? Mimi hata sijui, tutamuuliza spelling, lakini anaitwa Stella. Kuna jina imepimpiwa kama gari ya limousine. Alright? And then the last person I want you to get a book for, alright, is myself. Please usiandike Eli, andika Anko wa Majuu. How many books are we talking about? Very important. Anko is ordering 4 books. And the 5th one, it's a gift to a person that I don't want to disclose, ndio aenda aseme, nitaisema. Nitakutumia. Uko na namba ya simu yenye tunaweza kupigia like. Aya, peana ndio watu wakupigie. Na ni ya vitabu peke yake. Guys, usianze mahai. Huyu hajaolewa, nishamtafutia mtu. Mwache hiyo tabia. Aya. Number ambayo we can actually, there is Kibanga Books and NURIA store, it's available, but if you want a signed copy only, or 72893525, yes, 439 925 439. Namba leo zinanichanganya. I wish even nikukuwa na account balance yangu, lakini jamani, account balance ya wakati wa show inkwisha. Na ningependa Judy ambaye ako anatusikiza pia, wewe useme kama utataka hiyo kitabu ama nirudishiane. Na mwingine ambaye nimeona pia anasikiza ni Stella, amesema thank you, very important. So once those books have been signed, I will personally arrange for collection, si ndio? Kutoka na tena zitapanda ndege. Sisi hatutumiangi, we don't go low. If they go low, we go high. You know, they can be very dangerous, right? And that, of course, is one of those interesting conversations I've had with Angeline Wanjala. And did you know that the name Wanjala is actually a name that is co-shared between the Luya community, specifically the Bukusus and the Wadawida? Usi Mluya, lakini karembo kameprove ni kataita. Haya basi, thank you very much for joining us, and looking forward to having you in the next one. Definitely, asante sana. You're much welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, that was one of our TBT session with none other than the one and only Angeline Wanjala. And her book is available on Amazon. You can dial her up. That is Angeline Wanjala, and she's been. We'll also be sharing later on her number in the video broadcast that you're watching. So continue tuning in. In the meantime, we go back to Throwback Thursday kwa sababu mambo ni mazuri tu, msiwe na wasiwasi. I'm about to make sure that things are flowing smoothly. So kwa wale ambao mlikuwa mnasikiza kutoka ule upande wa YouTube, will also be ending that broadcast as we begin and resume our normal broadcast on www.cotfm.co.ke. Once again, welcome to Throwback Thursday. Wacha tuangalie playlist iko na nini, kwa sababu mambo ni mazuri tu, na ninaona ni kama Uncle B ananiambia, Uncle, hiyo kitu ilikuwa nzuri sana, and I appreciate, because without you then we are talking and speaking to ourselves, and that's not what I want. Let's go to some great Matonya there with Lady JD, who is on standby. Sijui alifanya nini huku, lakini we will find out